Hello everyone. Let me now do a very short demo, hopefully within a few minutes, just to show to you what you can expect for importing your starter projects, developing some code, exporting the project for grading, and make sure you have the right name for the submission, and also upload to the web submit link. Let me show that to you, so that will definitely save you some time and also some sweat during the test. Okay, let's take a look. So once you log in to a terminal in the Williams Small Center, one of the lab machine, you will be, of course, you will log in using your EECS account. And you will see this page over here, and then you're going to click on Start the lab test over here. And then you're going to log in using your EECS account. As Jackie, for example, that's my student account. Okay, and then you're going to see this page over here. And in this case, we have different versions of your lab test, so you want to make sure you only stick to the version you are assigned initially, otherwise you wouldn't receive any mark. Okay, click on here, and the version I'm assigned right now will be version B. Okay, and then I'm gonna click on here to get my instruction, and that one there is gonna be a PDF over here, right? So for example, I'm getting programming test 1 version B, right? So there will be some instructions over here, which I'm not gonna bother you in this video, but there will be 2 links over there I'm going to show to you in this demo. But just make sure for every 20 minutes or so, it's highly recommended you want to export whatever you have got so far and then submit it just as a backup, just in case you wouldn't get a time to actually submit at the end. At least you got something to be graded. All right, let's now take a look. Okay, so the first part will be how can you download the starter projects. So there will be a link right over here in step number 1, right? They will say download the Eclipse Java project archive file, which will be a zip file. And for this particular test, it's programming test 1 version B _ starter. All right, click on that, and then it will be downloaded to your home directory. So just click on this icon over here. It's going to reveal the file over here. And one thing to emphasize, if you move your mouse over, there is some link over here about how to get to the file. Do not really try to play with this link. If you get a version of the test that's not the same as what you are assigned to, you wouldn't get any mark. So please just make sure you just click. Do not try to edit the URL in any way. All right, so this is the way we download it, and you do not submit this file for grading. Just be careful. All right, so let's now launch Eclipse. How do we do that? We're going to do what you did for your previous lab. Go under Activities over here and click on the Eclipse over here, and it's going to launch. And for the workspace, you will simply choose what's really given to you by default during the lab test mode. You don't need to play with it. Okay, let's wait for that. All right, so you will just stick to this particular default path, right? You don't need to browse anything, just say launch. And once the Eclipse is launched, we're going to import this starter project over here into your Eclipse, and then you can start developing and then also submit periodically. We'll see that. Right? It's going to launch. In the actual programming test, since so many people are actually loading the Eclipse at the same time, it might take slightly longer, but it should be okay. Let's close the welcoming tab, and let's maximize your Eclipse over here. You can feel free to drag the outline to over here if you wish. All right, let's now try to import. Right, that's something you did for your lab 1. File, you would say import. Under general, go to archive file. Next, oh, beg your pardon, let me do it again, I did it wrong. File, import. Under general, existing projects to workspace. Right, just be careful, not archive file. I just did the wrong thing. Right, existing project into workspace. Next, and make sure you choose select archive file and then browse. So what I'm doing here is exactly the same as what you did for your previous lab. And remember, we downloaded the starter at home over here. You're going to choose programming test 1, whatever version, and starter, right? And you're going to say open. That one contains the version of the test you're going to take. And you're going to say finish. All right. And it will not be too surprising to see that the initial starter projects wouldn't compile, right? If you go under the source, we got JUnit tests over here, package. So this will be the starter test you have to work on. And that's the model package is empty. You're going to program whatever that's expected into the model package. Don't create any class outside the model package. Only the stuff you created under the model package will be graded, right? It's the same requirement as your previous lab, right? I'm not going to open this because that's your actual test, right? So now let's say you did some developments. Hopefully you get rid of all the compilation error and also get a green bar, right? But you should really try to also submit the intermediate versions of your project as a backup. That's something I'll try to remind you every 20 minutes or so in the actual test, right? So now how do you export and submit? Let's now collapse everything. Right click on the projects over here, and then we're gonna say export, which is over here. And then under general, archive file. All right, this step gotta be careful, right? It's a little bit tricky to do. Okay, archive file and say next. All right, and now you want to make sure you include everything in the bin, in the source, in the setting, just everything. And here, don't try to type just yet. Go to browse. And then you can see you will have a chance to type, but before that, click on desktop. That'll be the safest way because you don't want to store the folder to upload in the same folder as your starter. Otherwise, you might just accidentally submit your starter for grading, which you don't want to. Go under desktop over here, in which case you got nothing. And then over here, you're going to type. Okay, the following. The name will be suggested in the PDF instruction. For example, if I simply just go back to, if you simply go back, let me see if I can show to you the PDF. Let me just go back to the Firefox over here. Okay, let me start the test again. The same version over here. If you go back to the same PDF, just always keep your PDF handy. All right. Let me show to you. So the name you want to put depends. So you want to scroll down to your PDF, and you can see under submission, it suggests very specific name to be put. In this case, you will be programming test 1B, that's it, right? It depends, all right? It could be 1A, could be 1B, could be 1C, and etc. So I'm gonna type exactly what's being suggested. Programming test 1B, all right? And then save onto the desktop, right? You can see now the path is completed automatically for you. So don't try to type from scratch, right? Just say browse and type the name as suggested by the PDF. So you want to be very careful with the steps over here. And say finish. All right, so let's say I'm done. I can temporarily close the Eclipse, all right? And then if I go back to, you can see the browser over here. You can see under desktop, I got programming test 1B, not a starter. So this is one to submit for grading. How do we submit? Under the same section, submission here, you can see there is one link. Go to the following web submit link to upload and submit your developed project, right? That's the one we just exported. Click on that. That one is gonna require you to really log in, again, using your EECS. Do not choose the Passport York, okay? Always use the EECS account, which you definitely have activated, right? Let's say my username and also password. All right, so now don't choose this one here. Your designated link will just correspond to the version you got assigned, right? Don't change that. And you're gonna say browse, and make sure you browse not to home, because in which case you're gonna submit a starter, which is you don't want to. Browse to desktop and then choose whatever exported version you got, right? Just make sure the name is correct as specified in your PDF. And say open, all right, and then say submit files. Once you're done, you can see something here. You can feel free to download it if you want to. And then if you open that, you can see this. They just happen to be stored at the home directory. So that's the one. You can feel free to import it again if you want to, or you can just take a look. You can just unzip it, take a quick look on under the source, under whatever you have. Right? In this case, I don't have anything. But in your case, you want to make sure you really submitted the right files to be graded. All right. All right, it's a very quick walkthrough about how you can do import, export, and also submit. That's something you can expect to do in the programming test. All right, good luck with it.